Hello, my name's Joe Fletcher-Hunt. I'm a partner in the real estate team at Aaron & Partners, and I've been asked to answer 5 common questions about commercial property. Generally the answer is yes. There are a couple of qualifications as to why you don't need to pay, such as you've received land through inheritance, or the land value that you're paying is so low, such as 40,000 at the minute. The difficulty with tax is it keeps changing depending on the government in play. A couple of years ago we had something called the stamp duty land tax holiday on residential properties, which caused a few issues with the market in terms of people fighting each other to try and get a property as soon as they can. So it's always best to check, but in general the answer is yes. This answer is a bit more complex in that it depends. It depends if you hold a property under a lease, and it depends if the management company holds the roads and common parts, if you like, for you as a freehold owner. It all depends on the documents that you've signed or agreed to when you took the property up. Again, it's something you need to get advice on, but generally it tends to be you're responsible for the bits that you own, and management companies look after the bits that are shared or used with other people. It more or less does exactly what it says on the tin, in that the agreement that you've entered into has come to an end, and usually parties are happy to vacate and leave and call it a day. But in some instances relationships can continue, whether you want to try and carry on the relationship you had and what they call hold over a lease, or if you want to enter into negotiations to grant a new lease. These things should be done with consent of all parties, and if there's friction between parties, it can lead to litigation. Generally the answer is yes. Again, it depends on how you hold the property, and there's a couple of things that come into this. So if you lease a property, for example, you not only need the consent of the landlord, the freehold owner, but you also need to get planning consent. It's not a question of deciding one day you're going to change from one use to the other. It's something you need to think about. Some people have changed use, if you like, without getting consent, and that can lead to problems down the line. There are precedents where if you change the use and do it long enough, you're deemed to have changed the use yourself, but you should try and get permission where you can. There is no real maximum or minimum length to a lease. Most leases I've seen, or the most I've seen, is for 999 years. What is important with the lease is if the lease is over 7 years, that you must register at Land Registry.